Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you to all the organizers that helped to put this presentation together, this event together. And here is also my LinkedIn. So let's get to keep in touch and get connected. Well, so so during this workshop, what I want to we're gonna just learn about Power BI, the basics. I want you to create your own project. This is a hands-on workshop. So I hope you guys, I don't know if everybody had the time to download Power BI desktop. Does everybody has it? Like, we share a link where everybody could download it. If anybody, I don't know if you guys can confirm if you guys have it on your desktop. If anybody needs to download it, you guys still have some time. So can everybody also, yeah, thank you, Jillian, you're posting the link. So it's pretty straightforward to download it, and yeah, so let's have some fun learning something new. Thank you. I see some thumbs up, the people that downloaded. That's nice, that's good. And so a little review about what is Power BI. Power BI is a business intelligence tool that allows you to analyze your data and visualize, and also to share your results, your reports. So that's this is like the main basic things that you can do with Power BI. You can prepare your data and analyze it. You can create visuals, and you can also share with others, present your results to other people. So so Power BI is not just a single tool, it's kind of a set of multiple tools interacting with each other. And these core tools are Power BI Desktop, Power BI Service Pro, and Power BI Mobile. So the tool that we downloaded is the Power BI Desktop, which is the free, you can download it for free to your computer. The only restriction that you have is that it's only available for Windows. That cover all the main areas. You can create you can analyze your data, create visuals, create your reports, and then and now this is okay for certain projects, and this is what we are going to cover today: how to use this Power BI Desktop. However, I also want to let you know about these other services here, these other tools. If you are, for example, in a company, what you are going to have, a company will have this Power BI Service Pro, which is a cloud application. So you will have your Power BI account to log in. This means it's not limited to Windows only. You will need a browser to access, but you're not by just having it on your computer. You are going to access that through course, collaboration, share results. So basically, with the Power Desktop, you can work on yourself, but with this Power BI Service Pro, you are able to share, to work with your team, other people who make changes to your project, and you can also present your reports. And then the third tool set that we have is the Power BI Mobile, which is a mobile application app that you can download on your phone, and then you have access to your data, to your reports, to your dashboards. So today we're going to, so this is the Power BI toolset, and today we will dive into Power BI desktop, this part here, the one that you guys downloaded for free. So, so let me share a PDF file. This PDF file is gonna have the steps, so you guys could follow and we could all work together. So let me share my, let me see, let me share that. So this is the handout that you guys will have. And we have here our data, the links to our data that we will be working with. And there's like 11 steps, things that we're gonna be doing in Power BI. So the data that I picked was the data from sandiego.gov, and we're going to be looking at the drinking water data, test results for San Diego. So let me show you a little bit of this data. Please download this PDF file or open it in your machine so you guys have the links. So the first link will be downloading the following data. Let me show you. We have this drinking water sample sites, and there's this data here, sample sites. And if you click on download in this icon, you will be downloading this CSV file into your machine. And the second link will also have these files here. So download the first two files, which contains the drinking water test results. This data is public data from sandiego.gov. Let me see if I could share the links also in the chat. Maybe that will be. So this is one link. And this is the second link. So we'll be downloading 3 files. Yes. Hold on, I'm having an issue here. I got locked. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Sorry.
Yes.
So once you have this data on your computer, this is the data that we'll be using. So let's open Power BI. So when you open Power BI, you have this sign in here, but this we are not going to sign in because this is for the tool that when you are in a company that they have the Power BI service, so they will provide you with a username and your login so you can share. But for now we don't have that. We have the free version, which we are not sharing with anybody else. It's only on our local machine. So we could, if we have other reports already in our computer, we could access them here. But since we don't have anything yet, it's our first project, so we just close the window, and then we are going to get the data, add the data from here. So there's multiple ways to add our data. Let's see, if you have it on your computer, these 3 files that we downloaded from sandiego.gov, if you already have these 3 on your computer, we want to link them to Power BI and start working with that data. So you can add it from here, from these icons, or you can add it from the menu. So in the menu, you have the get data, and you have all these sources where you can get your data. Also, if you click on more, when you click on more, then you will see all the other places where you can download this data. I think people are still downloading the data, so I'll wait. I'll give you a couple of minutes on that. So you can download the data. You can get data from Excel, from text, from CSV. Right now we have our data in CSV, but there's like multiple things that you, like for example, if you're in a company, most of the companies have like their own servers, their own databases. So you will use this SQL Server database, and for this you should know the server name, the database that you're going to link, and it also, you can add like SQL statements here, or just pick the specific data that you want. So there's a lot of things that you can do just in this first step, just by adding the data. So let's see, let me add the data that we just downloaded. So it's a CSV file. So just click here, CSV, and then select each file that you download. So can select like that. And then you have this, and you can click here in load, and it will load the data. So you just give it a few seconds here, and it will be loading your data into Power BI. So here we uploaded the first table. Then you can upload the second table. So another CSV file here. We're going to add the second table. Select
Hey, Leidy.
the table.
Sorry to interrupt. I think Maureen might need some help in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, but there were 3 links posted in the chat, but 2 of them are exactly the same. So
the 2 that I posted.
You said there's 3 files to download, so apologies,
Yeah.
but I was uploading, I was adding those tabs, so I was not watching you when I figured to see which ones you were downloading.
Yeah.
So I can't tell, so I'm just need you to tell which things you want me to download from each site.
Yeah, so the second link, if you
Mhm.
click on this second link, we have two tables here. So you can download, the second link here has two latest drinking water tests and
Mhm.
all drinking water
Thank
tests.
you.
Those
Thanks.
two,
Thanks. I
yeah,
just wasn't on the
yeah,
screen when you were
download them.
talking about downloading. Thank you.
Yeah, so we will have those. Let me see if I could. Yeah, so make sure is the same sample size. That's one. The latest indicator and the indicator bacteria. Those are the names of the files. So it's the latest drinking water test and all drinking water. Maybe this is. Okay. So let's add the other one, text CSV file. So we select the CSV and we click on sample size, open, and then we'll have this. You can load the file. So here we already load the files. You can see on this area here that there's like three files here, the names of the files. So when you work on Power BI, there's three things that I mentioned that you can do. You can prepare your data, you can model your data, and you can create visuals for your data. So for the data preparation, all the data preparation happens in this query editor. So to open the query editor, you click here on transform data. And if you read here, it says use the Power Query Editor to connect, prepare, and transform data. So all your data preparation is gonna be here in transform data. If you get the data and here, and then the preparation, you do it clicking here. But also, if you notice, when we were adding our data here, it gives you the two options to load. When you click open, it gives you two options. Gives you the option to load and transform data. You can load them, or you can also click transform data, and it will load it and also open a Power Query Editor. So if you only click, we only click load, and that was enough for us because we needed to load these three tables. But if you're downloading, you can also access transform data from when you are loading the table. So is everybody done uploading the data? Or you guys need more time? Let me know in the comments, in the chat. I could, another thing that I like it from Power BI is that you can also add data using directly from the web. You can just type here the URL, like for example, you don't need to do this part. I'm just talking a little bit, so give some time for people that are uploading the data. But I'm going to show you this thing. For example, this website. You see data from this website, and then you want to grab this data. You don't need to save this data on your server or on your computer. You just copy the link here of this data and then paste it here. By doing that, you click connect, and then you will be having access to the data that shows on that website. So that's something cool that Power BI allows you to do. It's like you can get data from many sources. So for example, the data that we saw on that website is getting linked here. You're connecting to that. So you can see it here. And here you see the data. And it's the data from this website. Oh, where's my website? Okay, here, all this data about California sales taxes data that is on this website. You can add it here, and you will have it here, the taxes and everything. So I'm not gonna add this data. I was just showing how to get data from websites using here this. So I think everybody has the data linked to Power BI. So now we're gonna click on transform data. We click here and then another window will come up like this. And this window is the Power Query Editor. And this is where you can work with your data. So you can see the tables here, all the 3 CSV files that we added are there. So the first thing that we did was this step: connect the files and open the Power Query Editor. That was our number 1. Number 2, we have this: turn the first row in indicator in this table into column names. So my computer already promoted the headers, but some people have something like this, column 1 in the first row has the names. So if you have the names on your first row, the header, you have it in the first row, you can go to here and in the menu, in this area that says transform, there's a button here that says use first row as headers. So you can click on that one, use first row as header. And you click there and you will have the first row will be your header. For some of my tables, it happened that those steps happen automatically. But for some people, will not happen. I think it's because I used it before and I think it recorded it. But if you want to see all the apply steps that you have on your data, you can see it on this side. Here this says apply steps, and the first step is source. And if you click in this little wheel that it has here, you click there and you will open what you did on the step. So for example, here it says that I linked this table from this file path. So all in the second one, promoter headers. So it's kind of giving you all the steps that you already applied to your data. And each table will show you the steps on this side. So if anybody has any questions, let me know in the chat. So the third step that we're gonna do with this data is gonna be, so we have 2 tables, one with the latest data, and we're gonna check if this data from the table latest indicator bacteria test data, if that data is included on the second table here. So if that data is not included, we're gonna append that data. But if that data is included, then we delete the table. So we got these 2 tables here, indicator and latest indicator. So the latest indicator, if you filter here, you will see that there's only one date here, April 25th. So we want to know if this table here has contains this latest indicator. So if you open it like this, you see that there's a warning sign here that says the list may be incomplete. So the way to find out about that date is better to do the data filter from here, and this is very similar to Excel. So you can type here the date. So it was April 21st. I mean 25th, April 25th, 2022. Okay, so click OK, and then we see that that data is included there. So we don't need to append this data. We don't need to combine this data. We already have it. So since we already have it, we're going to delete this table. And it's pretty easy to delete it. You just go right click here and click delete. And then it will ask you if you want to delete this query. You say yes, because we already have that data. So we're gonna go ahead and delete that table. So we click here, and we're going to unfilter this because we want to see all the data again. So go to apply steps and get rid of these filter rows. So we're going to delete here, and then we will unfilter. So here with this exercise, I want you to get familiar with deleting queries that we don't need, with filter, and with these apply steps. Every time that you want to delete a step, you can go ahead here and click here on delete on this X, and you will be deleting the step, the steps that you want. So on the fourth step, we have delete required columns. And I forgot to add one column, so I want you to delete. So sorry about that. Let's delete the first column here. So you can do it different ways. Also, you can select the column and click here on remove columns, and you deleted that column. Or you can also let's move to the next table, and I'm going to delete this here, this location. And you can also do right click and remove these columns from here. If you want to delete multiple columns, you can also do that. You can hold Control and then select all the columns that you want to delete, and then you will remove those columns. And let's remove this column too. Then if you find out that you want the columns back, you just go back to apply steps and remove here, and then you will get all your columns back. So let me delete. I'm just gonna leave here the ID, the zone name, and I'm going to delete these 3 columns. And the last column. So I'm just gonna leave these 4 columns: site ID, pressure, zone name, and longitude, latitude and longitude, and just leave these 4 columns here. And from the indicator, we just remove the first column. Everything else is okay. So there's multiple things that you can do here with your data, and we know that data is not perfect. This is real data, so I found out like some data that is that we are gonna probably hit some data that is not going to match our table. There's a question here. Is it possible the indicator table has the incomplete data, meaning the data 425 has 25 rows and the latest indicator table with it has 27 rows? Is there a way to know that you're not missing any information? Yeah, you can also compare the tables too. You can also compare those two tables. I reviewed this data before, so I know that there were like 50 rows in each one. I think it was 50 rows. So I compared it before, but yeah, you can also select both and do a comparison too. So in this case, what I want to do here is just to add this data to this first table. So let me go back to the exercise. So we're going to merge queries. So we're going to select the fields of the indicator bacteria table, and we are going to add all the matching fields from the sample sites. But then this data is real data, it's not perfect, and we're going to get some data that is not going to come in. So for this exercise purposes, we're just going to remove anything that is not matching. But if this was real life in a company, we'll probably report this and say, hey, there's some data that is not matching, and probably because some misspells, probably because the source ID has some spaces, and we could analyze that and pass it through, you know, and show them that the data is showing some nulls. So let me show you how to merge that data. So you go to this table, and we are going to go to merge queries. So here you can do merge or you can do append. Append is when you add at the end the data, and merge is when you have something in common, some ID in common between those two tables, and then you linked and you add the rows, the columns. You are adding columns. Merging is to add columns, and append is to add rows. So we're going to add the columns from sample sites to the indicator bacteria table. So let's do merge queries. And it gives you two options too. Let me, hold on, let's go back to merge queries. It gives you two options. Merge queries is like you're going to add to this table the columns. And merge query as new is that you're going to create another table with all those columns. So for this exercise, we're just going to merge the queries. And here we have the first table, and we are going to select the second table, sample sites. And here in sample sites, we have site ID. This site ID, we're going to click on that, and source in this source field, we're going to click on that one too, because these two are the two columns in common that we have in those files. And then we are going to link through those. And we click OK. Then we will have this column here that shows table. So we're going to click on this little icon here on the corner, and it will give us the options to select all the columns that we want to add, that we want to merge to this file. So we are going to just select this pressure zone name, latitude, and longitude. And I'm not selecting the site ID. I'm just going to leave it away. Okay. And here we see some null. We're gonna get rid of the nulls, because the nulls is like, for example, this 248 SYS. This source here, this code here, doesn't exist on this sample site. Probably is because there's a space on an extra letter. Let's find out. Equals to, oh, let's see if I could just 248. See, 248 SYS. And what we have in the other table is 248A. And we don't have that code in this table. So we could report that. We could report it that we don't have that in this table. We could, you know, in the company, we were working for San Diego data gov company. So we will report, hey, we don't have that code in this table. We need to find out that code, if it was an error entry, data entry, or if we need to add it to this sample site data. So if you want to get rid of all those nodes, you have to, we will need to filter and unselect here node, and then click OK. And we are not seeing those nodes anymore. You can also select them, pick them, and make a note and send it. Hey, we don't have those. So what's next? Let me see. So remove the nodes. Now, step number 6, we're going to load the queries into the data model. So let's see, we're done preparing our data here. We could analyze here our data more in depth, but for this exercise, we're gonna pretend like we reviewed all the data, everything is okay. Now we're ready to load the data. So you go to here, close and apply. You click there, they give you multiple options. You can close and apply, or just close if you don't want to save anything. But we're gonna choose close and apply. So we're gonna record this. We're gonna load all our changes that we did on this data, and we close the query editor. So we're done with the query editor. We're done with our data preparation. So now let's do some data modeling. So here we have 3 different views. We have the data, the report, the data, and the model. So if you click on model, it will give you this view here. And you can check the connections of this data. For example, here, you click here and you see that it's connecting the wrong ID. So I want to delete this. I want to delete this connection, and I'm going to connect ID to source. So these two should be the ones that are connecting. So these two are the ones that this ID connects to this field here. So in this view, you can see the modeling. You will probably have different schemes here, different tables, all your tables and how they're connected. You will see them here in this data view. Let's see. So number 7, go to model and link these 2 tables. Okay, with number 8, create a map using latitude and longitude fields. So our visuals, our data will be in this table. So if you click here, you will see the table, our tables, all our data. But if you want to create some visuals with your data, you have to come here and go to report. In report is where you're gonna keep all your visuals. So So we're going to start adding our visuals here. Hold on, I don't see my screen, I don't know. So to create our visuals, we have all these different graphs. So let's click on map. We have our map here, and we are going to, we could link here the map through zip code or through names of cities, neighborhoods, towns. What we have in our data is the longitude and latitude. So we're going to go ahead and use those. So you click on here and drag it to latitude field here, and then drag the longitude to the longitude field here. Give me 1 second. I'm not seeing the chat, so I lost my chat. Okay. I can see my chat here. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. So you can drag it in latitude and longitude, and you will see the map here. There's other types of charts here, that all type of chart, line charts, bar charts, all these charts. But for this exercise, I want you to show in the map all the areas where coliform was present during the last year. So this data has this field here that is coliform, and this field, we're gonna drag it to filters, and we're just gonna paste it here in filters. This field, again, this data is not perfect. You will see that has this A, P, they have some blanks, 104 blanks, and we have this sign that I have no idea what this sign means. I went to their website and I checked, they have this dictionary here. I checked the dictionary and it says that, oh, hold on, I'm in the wrong one. Here in this dictionary, it says that it's supposed to be A for absent, P for present, but doesn't have that icon here. So it's probably an error in the data, but we have some blanks and we have this symbol that I don't know what it is. But for this exercise, I want you to select present. We want to check all the data that is present, and I also put another condition there, showing the map all the areas where coliform was present during the last year. So we have this other field here that is date sample. So we're gonna also drag that one in filters. And when you, sorry, I drag it the wrong way. So if you drag it like that, the wrong way, like I did, just delete this by click, but you just have to click delete. Select again the map, and then go drag it again and just drop it here. And I did it again wrong. Okay, let me delete this table. If you drag it to here, you will create a table. So you don't want to create a table. And if you click everywhere else, you will not see the data. So if you want to go back and work in the map, you have to select the map and you will see all the fields that you're working with. So we filter by the coliform, we select present, and then we have the dates. So for the date, I want to select the last 2 years. So you can go to advanced, to basic filtering. If you click on basic filtering, oh, that I think, oh, this is the latitude, sorry. Where is my dates? This is the longitude, latitude. Let's see. I click on date sample. Okay, here it is. And then date sample, you can click on basic filtering, or you can, and it will give you all the dates, which is going to be difficult to select the last year. So we go ahead and click on the next one, relative date. So if you click on relative date, it's going to give you these sentences here, and this looks better for us. Show items when the value is in the last 1 year, because we want only the last year, including today. And then you click here, apply filters. And then we will see our filters here. So here there's relative date, showing that is data sample, coliform, latitude, longitude, okay. So here we can also play with this map and change the colors, because right now the dots, I can barely see them. So if you go to here, format your visual, you can click there and you can change the size of the bubble, making it bigger. You can also change the colors. So it's giving you the colors for different, you can put all of them the same color if you want. Different dates have different colors, but you can change them. Let me put red so I could see them better. You can also add titles. So here you can see better. You can also change the map. You can make it dark. You can make it grayscale. You can make it different colors too. And you can also add titles to your visual. Here, if you click on view, on home, you go to home and there's a text box here, and you can add titles and other stuff to your visuals to make the report better. So let me continue with our exercise number. We are on number 10. So let's add to the report a table that identifies zone names. So you know now in the map the latitude and altitude, but we want the neighborhoods. We want to know the what neighborhoods have this detected this coliform bacteria in the drinking water. So we want to know that, and we are going to add a table here. So click here on table. It's going to be our next visual. And on this table, we are going to add, it says add to the report a table identifying the zone names. So the zone names here, I think this is the name of the table. Yeah, zone names. So we're going to add this one. We're going to select that. We're going to select the coliform, and we're going to select the date. So we're going to filter again, everything that is present for the last year. So we're going to select the last year. And we have our table there. Let's see. We don't need the day, the month, we don't need this. We just need the year. So we unselect the stuff and we have, these are the neighborhoods. And this table, if you want to click here, you will see the area here. It will show you the neighborhood. It will show you like Tierra Santa here in 22, 21. See, we can select and see it in the map. These two are not appearing in the map. I think it's because of the dates. Our map is showing us from April to April, and I think these two are from another before April. So that's why we're not seeing it in the map. So let's see one more thing here. Add a table identifying zones with cauliflower. I think this is the table that we did. This is a different table. So let me add that other table. So this one is adding the whole 2 years, for this whole 2 years, but I want only these 4 points here to show those 4 points. So I will go back to date sample. And just give me this date. I have to select, sorry, I wasn't selecting here. I want this date, this coliform, and I want this to be present. And here I want to, I don't need the quarter. I need the month to be all of them except January, February, and April. And it's not giving me the sample. Hold on, I need to delete this. Let's give me this order. I don't want it out of order. It's giving me like it's filtered. It's giving me in a wrong. I want to have the date like the way we have it here on this other visual, that we have it like this, date sample like this. So I'm trying to get it that way again, but here we go. It's partitioning, it's giving me everything in hierarchy. Okay, so I click here and I'm just gonna click it in the sample line. There you go. And now I'm back to relative date, and I could go back and do it 1 year. And apply filter. And I'm missing the zones. So let me add the zones. So here you go. We have the zones, we have the date, and we have the P form. And all these are, you can click here and you will see it in the map. Yeah. We have that redwood is twice. We have the same, we detected coliform in June and also in July from last year. So this is like the main thing that we want to do in Power BI. We want to create some visuals. We want to analyze and prepare our data. We want to be able to have the model our data. And there's one more thing that I want to talk before ending our workshop, and is that there's two languages in Power BI. So there's the M language and DAX. We have the M language is the language that you can see in the Power Query window. In this Power Query formula language, it's used during the data transformation, and it is applied before you load the data into the data model. So let me show you where you can find this M language. So the M language, you go to transform data, and you open Power Query, and you will see it here on this little window here. You will see the code, and this is called M language. You can see it here, the M language. And the second language that we have is called, I wrote it in our PDF file, it's called DAX. This is the data analysis expression language. It is a language used in the data model, and it is made for creating data calculations. It's very similar to Excel. So if you're familiar with Excel, it will be easier to work with DAX. It is, so let me show you where you can have. So this is Power Query. Power Query, we have the M language, and the DAX, you will have it here in this view, in the data view. You will have, you will write in DAX. So let me show you two quick samples of these two languages. So let's do M language first. So for M language, I'm going to add a column here. So you go to add column, custom column, and here I'm going to write M test. I'm gonna add the M test, and what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to have a field with this column site, and pressure, zone name. These two, I'm going to display these two columns. So I'm going to put a space in between, and it's very similar to what we do in Excel. So you click OK, and here we have our column. So for M language, we have a lot of help. We can see that this is the code, but we didn't have to type all this in our, we didn't have to type all this. We have this extra window that kind of make us everything easier. So this is we have a lot of help with M language. You don't really need to know M language to be able to do your stuff, because everything that you do is gonna happen kind of in the background. But you can also type all this here on this screen here, and you will see this column again. But most of the time you just don't use it. You just use you just type and you have a lot of help. But if you want to, you can load this. Let's save this. I'm gonna close and apply this. We're gonna do the same thing, but in DAX, using DAX. And using DAX is when you already have your data loaded. See, we created this in M language, but let's do the same thing with DAX. So with DAX, you have to go to this data view. And with data view, you have this new column here. You click there. And it doesn't have that extra window, that extra pop-up where you get the help. Here you have to type it. So you can type it. Let's put DAX test. So here you will type it, like you open break. Here you select site ID, and then you kind of do the same thing that you did in the other window. And then you type the pressure zone, you select this, and then you click enter, and then you will have the same results. Also, you can do it like the same using functions. So here with DAX, you can use also functions. So let's get a new column here. So a new column, but instead of typing, we're gonna use a function. So let's put DAX function test. And then the function to get these two together will be like similar to Excel. We do concatenate this one here. And we are going to link, select site ID, and concatenate. I'm gonna have a space, and what is the other one? Pressure zone name. And we close this, and we will have an error. Let's see. I think this comma was my error here. Probably an end. I'm pretty sure there's a comma there. Maybe what is my error here? Show me this. Too few argument function. The minimum argument count of the function is 2. Maybe I need a comma here instead. Let's see, another parenthesis here. Okay, it was a comma, I was putting an end. Okay, so we could also use functions here, and they're very similar to Excel. So if you know Excel, you kind of know this. I also put a link here. There's a link here that will take you to a website where you could find all the functions for DAX statements, all this for reference if you want to, if you need anything, any functions, and you could find out there. So I think this is it for today. And I hope you learned the basics, and you can go ahead and practice with this tool and play around. And this section is going to be recorded, so yes, you could go over and go back and play with this data, and with any data that there's plenty of cool data in sandiego.gov, so I encourage you to practice.
Thank you, Leidy. This was so awesome to see you take like raw data and make this beautiful map from it. Are there any questions for Leidy? Feel free to unmute or write in chat. Lots of appreciation in chat. Thank you, Leidy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to everybody for attending, and thank you to Julia, Michi, all the people that make it possible and organize this event. I'm forgetting some more names here, but there's a lot of people involved in these events, and I thank you for supporting this community.